Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Swans Cast. It's been a couple of weeks since we were last on. Had a bit of a quiet summer this time, bit of a quiet pre-season from us, but we're here now a week before the season opener against Rotherham United, I believe. Yeah, on the weekend coming now. So thanks for joining us, and we'll discuss maybe everything that's happened in pre-season or everything that we've caught up on and seen. Obviously, some of the games they weren't too easy to go and follow this year. There wasn't that many you could actually go to, was there? And we'll talk about the transfer news that's happened. So we did recap it a little bit last time, but seeing as we're entering the season, we'll do another run through of that. Have a little bit of a look at some of the transfers across the league. A bit of a quiet transfer window, I would say. There's a lot of movement, but nothing spectacular. Everyone seems a little bit skint. But yeah, we'll discuss some of that, and then we'll go on to predict our table and what we think is going to happen in the year to come. I don't know if we actually went back and compared the one last time, but didn't do that great, I don't think. We did some things well, some things not so well, but that's all part of the fun. So that's what we'll do today. So yeah, as always, your place for all Swansea City news is Swans Cast, so and podcast discussion. We always bring our opinions and appreciate anyone that wants to get involved in the comments. Don't forget to comment down below. We do like to involve you in the next video. Then we'll read it out and discuss any questions that you have. And also, while you're on that subject, don't forget you can follow us on Twitter, as we'll be most active, so you can talk to us on there. We also have Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Go check us out, either Swanscast or Swanscast Media, and you'll be able to find us and follow us on all the social platforms. Welcome back, Lee.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm going to blame you for our absence after you've been gallivanting out in Italy.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, it's gone really quick though, isn't it? And it seems like we've just turned around and it's the start of the season again. I thought like it was going to be a bigger break, but I guess it's starting. It's only a week earlier it's starting, isn't it? But it feels like it's really quick turnaround.
I thought it was a bit earlier because of the World Cup.
Yeah, normally it's like the first week of August anyway, isn't it? But we're pretty much there anyway. We're probably starting a week earlier than normal.
Fair enough. Yeah, so we'll get into our thoughts, I guess, on the Swans. So let's look at pre-season first of all. I didn't manage to get to any friendlies this year. I don't know if you did yourself. I think you did you?
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't any home friendlies that were actually attendable, was there?
No, there wasn't. They had a few at the training ground, didn't they? Had a couple of sort of
played up in Fairwood.
Yeah, a couple of Fairwood ones, and I think it was only I don't know, I might be wrong. I think it was only Plymouth away and Charlton away that was sort of like a real friendly where like you could go to the game.
Yeah, even like the other games were. It's hard to find the actual results because they're not all proper games. They were like some of them were like 30 minutes a half or 60 minutes a half, and not a half, but there was two separate games. For example, I think against Bristol they did two separate games just to try and do proper warm-ups and use a lot of the squad. So it's hard to get all the information to talk about. Obviously, you probably can get it if you scroll through the Swans website, but I'll be honest, I haven't. I've just gone on to look at the results, but they're not all there on Google.
Yeah, we've had a proper holiday this year.
Yeah, we did have a break.
We've kind of cut off a bit, yeah, but we're back properly. We'll get back into it.
Yeah, we'll get back to the weekly podcasts to bring you to get the discussion going again. But from what I have seen, I think one thing to really talk about is Joel Perreault and how vital he might be coming into this season if we can manage to keep him. So obviously we thought he was going to go like guaranteed. He's still here less than a week before we kick the season off. And he scored 6 goals, I believe, throughout pre-season. So kind of continuing where he left off with his clinical finishing. Just showing how vital he is to the team.
Yeah, I've seen some of his finishes as well. The one, it was Plymouth away, I think, wasn't it? When he brought down his chest and volleyed it. It's just ridiculous finish. Yeah, I fully expect him to still go. It seems to have, like you said, it seems to have gone really quiet. We were talking about it earlier, and it's just given us a bit of false hope, I think, because I'd still expect him to go probably late in the transfer window, which would be really annoying.
I don't know, though. I think, like, it's gone quiet, and other Premier League clubs kind of looking elsewhere, looking for cheap alternatives.
I did see that Brighton were interested. saw an article somewhere this week that Brighton was sniffing around, but it wasn't anything.
I feel like a lot of clubs are reluctant to spend money at the moment, it seems, unless you're like a top club.
Yeah.
It's just look across the board in the Championship, and it's undisclosed fees everywhere, but essentially nobody's spending money. Even the clubs that have come down, usually you see one or two big player sign-ins, but it doesn't seem to be anything this year.
No, and I think if we get what we think he's worth, I can't see many clubs. I'm trying not to get too hopeful again, but I can't see many clubs wanting to pay that price tag. So
it is a World Cup year this year as well, and is it like normally a bit quieter before the World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's normally after the World. It's normally the season after the World Cup, isn't it? Because a lot of the World Cup players like come back later, don't they? And they're not quite fit at the start of the season, but so usually quiets down the transfer window. But because the World Cup's in the middle of this season, I think it is having an effect. I don't think people are going to sort of spend big this year with the World Cup in the middle. I can't see it.
And maybe we are getting lucky the fact that he is so young. So he's what, 22 now or 23? He's had one season of good football, and it could just be a case of like a lot of clubs keeping an eye. Can he do it again? If he does it again, I'd imagine you nearly have to guarantee he's gone next year. But
I think it was the same for Flynn Downs, wasn't it? He's had one. Well, I know like teams were sniffing around him before, which is probably why he's gone. I think last year was kind of his. Yeah, I think last year was kind of his right. Can he do it again? And he did. So I think that's why he's gone. But I genuinely thought that it was the other way around. I thought Pro would have gone early, and it would have been Willie or Wonty go with Flynn Downs. I thought that might go later on, but it's been the other way around. So like Downs went quite early, didn't he?
I don't know what they might have been asking for, if there was any offers for Perot or like any early discussions, but I'm sure like 20 million was quoted around that mark. If you're going to get 12 for Flynn Downs,
I
think you expected more for Perot.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Are you happy with the 12 million for Flynn Downs?
Yeah, I think was it 12 and it could rise to 14 with what I think it was. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think I'd like to see it because I'm trying to take myself back now because I think he actually went when I was on holiday, but I'm sure we had rejected a few bids from West Ham in the build-up. I'm sure I kept seeing.
Might have been Palace as well. They were interested.
Palace as well, yeah. I think we did. They did what I've been asking for the last 5 or 6 transfer windows. Is not just sell someone for the sake of it, and they actually got a good price for him. So I can't complain for that. And to bring in Joe Allen to replace him, I think you can't argue with that business. I'm gutted that he did go because I saw videos then afterwards, obviously after he left, and it was like West Ham fans asking if he was any good, and people were sending videos, and I was like, oh shit, he was actually really good, wasn't he? Sometimes when you step back, you're like, he was really class last year. So I was gutted that he's gone. But to have really potentially 14 million and have Joe Allen come in, you can't turn that down. You can't argue with it.
He was really good, but I will maintain there was areas that he didn't get called out for that other players would have. I'm not saying that I want him to go nothing. He's obviously young and can improve in places, but there's definitely mistakes he made in certain games that if another player had made them, they would have got shafted. But because he had a good season, like everyone let him off. Like for example, Fulton comes on, makes the same mistake, and everyone hates him, even though he's not playing, hardly plays. But then Downs, like maybe a little bit. The biggest thing I found was sometimes if we were defending in the box, like running back on a counter attack, say a shot gets blocked or saved, he was really slow to react to the second ball in our own box, and there was a couple of times where that cost us a goal. But obviously, everyone's going to have areas to improve on. It's not necessarily me criticising him, but he obviously has enough good attributes for West Ham to be looking at him. I'm sure he'll continue to improve there. And I think Russell Martin was tipping him to like get an England call up as well. So obviously,
I can see it happening if he carries on going the way he's going.
Yeah. Have they still got Declan Rice, or is he gone?
No, he's still there, I think.
So I'm wondering if he's like, because you think he's going to go eventually. Maybe you wonder if he's going to.
He's the sort of the replacement for him.
Yeah. Because there was talk about him going to Leeds to replace Calvin Phillips, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Similar sort of role, I guess. But yeah, so Flynn Downs is no more. We're going to look at the transfers in more detail in a bit, but so we talked about Perot's goals. I think it looks like he could potentially maintain his clinical finishing going into the season if we can keep him. Obviously, Obafemi was a vital part in the second half of the season when he got up and running. So having them both there from day one, that could be really useful for us. And something I've wrote down while we're talking about the attack, I think creating chances perhaps was a bit of a weaker point than scoring them for us last season with those two.
Yep.
But do you think the season might be the season that somebody like Cameron Congreve, I don't know if I said his name right, but
Yeah, sure.
can break through because he's been looking quite good in pre-season. He did score a goal. He got the assist for Ryan Manning's goal against Charlton on the weekend. And apparently when he came on, he changed the game in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I watched a bit of the game and he was good. But he seems to be different. He seems to be different to what like midfielders we have at the moment. He seems to come on and he's a bit more dynamic. He's always looking to do something. He's a bit more direct, like running with the ball, rather than sort of we've got midfielders that are good at sort of passing it around. He seems to offer something different. So I think you're definitely right. I think in terms of creating chances, I think he's definitely got that spark. They can do something, but trying to not get too carried away. I think like people have gone absolutely crazy that he's going to be like the best player in the world after his cameo against Charlton. But no, I think like what you can see, what I've seen of him, I think he's got it. We saw glimpses of him last year. He made some appearances, didn't he? The tail end of last season. So yeah, I think it could be.
Just wondering if he could be next off the like production line.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely got the talent to do it. It's quite exciting.
And then you've also got Ollie Cooper that perhaps can hold his hand up for some selection. He did make the bench against Charlton as well. Not fully sure where he's going to fit in, like if he's going to feature in the first team or not yet this season. Obviously, you tend to see a lot of the youngsters in the pre-season games. It's how many of those can carry on featuring as we get into the season. But I would like to see Ollie Cooper given a bit of a chance.
Yeah.
He had a good season for Newport last year.
Yeah, I can see it happening. I can see him. Well, I'm trying to think who's gone out the door now. Like Dander left, didn't he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Corey Smith has gone.
No one really in attack, but like we probably needed a bit more there, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's that's sort of Corey Smith's sort of opportunity is there for someone else to take, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I just ask you to move your mic slightly up, if that's all right?
Am I breathing heavy again?
That looks very good. It looks like it's connected to your glasses. Yeah, obviously you've got Cham still part of the team.
Well, there's another one that could have a breakout season because he was sort of, we saw flashes of him last season.
Doesn't look like he is gonna get there though. Like not get there, but like I can't see him breaking into like the starting 11 at the moment.
Well, he was my player last year that I kept digging out. I always have one every season, and he seemed to be the one last year because he did he did have a couple of flashes of brilliance. He scored some quality goals and did some big stuff, but I didn't offer enough for me. I did say he potentially wasn't fully fit. Now he's had a full pre-season. He still doesn't quite, like you said, if he still doesn't quite break into having more starts, then that's a bit worrying.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm not quite sure what formation Russell Martin's going for currently. I'm trying to have a look at the pre-season games, and obviously because they're friendlies, you don't get the detail of the recorded stats and stuff. They got him down as a 4-2-3-1 in the Charlton game. I'm not sure that's accurate.
Nah, I think it was the three at the back with the two wing backs against Charlton. It looked like.
Yeah, maybe. So obviously we talked about a couple of players that featured on the bench. It looks like Stephen Bender might be going to have to accept anyway, being our second choice goalkeeper, at least for now, unless any other action comes there. I know apparently he's been made available for transfer by the team.
Okay.
But I think he's going to be be staying there? Because we haven't got someone else currently, have we? Because Hamer's gone. I know they were potentially looking for another keeper, but I've not seen any action there. And I think an interesting topic is obviously if you've got Obafemi and you've got Perot, looks like they're both starting in the squad at the moment. We obviously need an attacker on the bench. So Liam Cullen, Morgan Whittaker went out on loan last season. They both come back to the club. I know Morgan Whittaker has since departed yet again. But Kyle Joseph obviously got recalled in January. It looks like in pre-season that Liam Cullen's had the nod over Kyle Joseph.
Yeah, no, Liam Cullen always scores goals in pre-season, doesn't he? He always seems to get a few goals in pre-season, but then...
well, he did score quite a few under Cooper as well. Like he did get some goals. Just
he did, yeah.
Last year.
I think I'd take that. I think I don't know. I never had a problem with Cullen. He seemed to get a lot. He seemed to get slated a lot when because when Russell Martin first came in the beginning of last season, he was making quite a few appearances, but he was playing like sort of in a wider position, and then he was playing like behind Perot and stuff. And I thought he was doing okay for what he was being asked to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind him. I think
he runs around a lot as well.
I think he's all right. I think if obviously he needs to show more to be starting in the Championship side. I don't know if he's that quality yet, but I think like maybe having him come off the bench. If you need goals, I haven't got a problem with that. I've rated him more than Whittaker anyway, because I know Whittaker seemed to be
everyone's favourite.
It seemed to be a straight shootout between those two, which is fair enough. But Whittaker seemed to be the one that everybody preferred, but I couldn't see that.
Whittaker scored one hat-trick, and everyone thought he was God's gift, but like I just didn't see it myself.
No, I didn't see it either. So I'm glad that looks like he's going to give Cullen another chance. But I think it is last chance for him as well. I think if he doesn't do this much this season, I think that's it then.
Well, he scored in pre-season, so it's a good start for him at least.
Yeah.
I think we've spoken about Joe Allen's coming in as quite a straight swap with Flynn Downs midfield. Not too much going on there. Fulton's definitely seen a lot more action, so I feel like he's going to be staying. I know Liam Walsh has picked up a Achilles injury, so he's out long term. I believe they were looking to ship him on, but they were talking about his injury, saying he'd actually shown really promising signs in pre-season. So I'm wondering whether it would have been a case of like if someone bids for Fulton or someone bids for Walsh, see which one goes. But that's been taken out of the hands.
I don't know. What a garbage signing that was turned out to be, though. I know it's like hindsight, but he came with an injury.
Yeah, but we were warned that he was.
He came with an injury-prone tag, didn't he? And then, I don't know. It seemed a bit stupid to me, especially in that area where we had enough players to then send him out on loan last season. Just seemed, I don't really get that one.
So essentially, Corey Smith and Flynn Downs have gone, which means Fulton and Joe Allen, say replacing them. I know Fulton was your last season, but probably is going to feature a lot more as a result of Smith and Downs leaving. Fulton's probably going to be integrated, I think, quite a lot. It was either him or Cham, but I don't really like Cham in that role, so
no.
I'd rather see him further up. But I think the most interesting part of pre-season, and I think the most vital part for Russell Martin to work on, is the defence. And this is perhaps going to transition nicely into our transfer recap. But the defence is the area that's clearly been a focus for our transfer recruitment strategy in the summer.
Yeah.
Brought in several players, obviously been integrating them now in pre-season. Not the spectacular moment for Harry Darling in the Charlton game.
Yeah.
Doing his best impression of Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
For those who aren't sure of the reference, he scored an own goal with a back pass that passed Fisher and went straight into the net. I mean, it happens. I think it's happened under every Swansea manager that's played passing football. I guess we're just fortunate that it happened in a friendly.
Yeah, get that one out the way early.
Yeah,
get that
obviously
out.
A bit of miscommunication. But I mean, you say gelling and all the rest of it, but they both would have played together at MK Dons, wouldn't they?
I know. I'm not going to. I won't go too overboard over it, but like the week before the season starts, I would like to see that cut out from last season. You know, that sort of panicking around the box and seeing that, I was just like, oh my god. But I won't take it too out of proportion in a pre-season friendly. But we'll We'll see what we're like next weekend now.
Martin did try and get on the, I don't know if on the defence is the right word, but damage control already about that sort of thing, saying
right
about the defensive errors and stuff. In his interview after the Charlton game, I just watched it, and he was saying like they are still young players. There's quite a few new players at the back, and they've got to gel together, as the team did last year, this time of the year, where they were learning a new style. There's a lot of players in the back that are coming into this new system, new squad. So at the start of the season, there probably will be a few more errors, but as we go on through the season, they'll be cut out as they were last year, is what he was trying to say. I tried to like manage expectations, saying like if there is mistakes, like it is what it is. It will happen playing this style of play. We just got to focus on trying to minimize them.
Yeah.
Let's just hope there's not that many, I guess.
Well, they've got to, because I know we get the praise for the passing football and the way he wants to play, fair enough, but they got to cut that out. Yeah, being young or not, or gelling or not, you cannot concede goals like that in the Championship.
No.
There's no excuse for it. You won't go anywhere if we're conceding goals like that again. We already had a problem with conceding goals last year, so yeah. We'll see.
So I'm not, like I said, I haven't seen much of how they lined up and stuff. So the back five consisted of Norton, Nathan Wood, another new signing that we signed from Stoke, I believe. Harry, was it Stoke?
Middlesbrough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Middlesbrough. Sorry. Obviously, Joe Allen came from Stoke. I knew Stoke was in there somewhere. Nathan Wood, Harry Darling came from MK Dons. Joe Latabodia and Matthew Sorinola, who's obviously on loan from Union SJ, but previously worked with Martin at MK Dons, so a lot of previous knowledge. I think he's taken the left back slot. I didn't quite see. Was it Latabodia or Norton playing right back?
I think it was Latabodia who was playing there, I think.
Is he keeping Norton in the middle of the back three, or is he using one of the other guys?
I can't remember, to be honest. I'll have to watch the highlights back.
It's hard to tell in some of the highlights though, because they do kind of move around.
Yeah, they move around. Yeah,
it did look like Latty was on the right though, because I think he played the ball in for Obafemi when he had the goal chalked off for offside.
Yeah,
which I did slow that down. I paused it at the moment the ball was kicked and it wasn't offside. So Obafemi had one chalked off there, but again, friendly, so not the end of the world. But yeah, it was a good ball by Latvodia, to be fair. I'm surprised though, like if he does end up featuring more. I thought he was maybe going to be one of the ones that goes if they get some defensive reinforcements in. But having said that, I guess the problem is we haven't really signed the right back.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we were desperate. Should have been high on the shopping list, shouldn't it? As soon as Christie left,
can play on both sides, can he? So
yeah,
I guess it depends if maybe he brings Manning in and moves Sorinola to the other side.
Yeah.
But then again, there's no cover, an actual right back to cover rather than somebody who can fill in. Although I guess Norton could go there. It depends. Maybe the idea is Norton will go back to the right when the other guys are more comfortable in the system.
Yeah, unless maybe he's brought in a Darling to play as the central defender. Maybe you can sort of pick, because they've got to look to sort of, as good as he has been, they have got to start to look elsewhere for Kyle Norton, because he keeps just getting 1-year extensions, doesn't he? Because he is coming to the end of his career. So they have got to try and replace him at some point.
It'll be easier to replace him if you put him back on the right than if he's the guy in the middle of the back three. But also remember, Ben Cabango is still injured. He might be available for Rotherham, but maybe when he comes back available, that means Latty can drop out, Norton can move over, and I'm not saying I'm not saying Cabango would be in the middle of the back three, but obviously he'd be available perhaps to slot in.
Yeah.
Who would you pick as your first choice defence at the moment then?
Oh God. I think he's got to play. Probably still got to play Norton in the middle. Norton, Darling, and Wood, is it, at the back? And then I would go Manning on one side and Soren Nola on the other side. It's probably the best bet to go, but I don't know what he's trying to do. If like I said, if he's trying to take the reliance off Norton, then maybe he'll play Darlin in the middle and bring Manning in, and then put Latibodiere on the right and Soren Nola on the left. But for me, if I was picking the side to start next week, I'd want to see Norton in the middle, and probably Darlin and Wood either side, with Manning and Soren Nola on wing backs. That's what I'd want to see, but we'll see.
Yeah. We haven't seen anything of the other two defenders we've signed, have we? Which is Ben Blith and Wasiri Williams, or Wasiri Williams, but I believe they were probably brought in for the under-23s.
Yeah, I think so.
And Joe Allen looks like perhaps not going to be available for the start of the season, but isn't too far away.
Yeah, so we'll probably see Fulton and Grimes in there.
Who, well, I guess Ncham's on the bench for cover. But Congreve can play there, and Ollie Cooper can potentially play in the centre if we needed him to.
Yeah.
So I guess probably need a little bit, I don't know, do we need more depth? Depends how reliable Allen's injury sort of record can be this year. Because I think he's had a couple lately, hasn't he? But we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, I think that's enough to chat about the sort of current situation at the team. Probably, maybe after we've seen the first game against Rotherham next week, we'll have a little bit more to discuss when we see actually how we're shaping up and how whatever they've been working on in pre-season has had an impact. Obviously, the main thing, the main thing is last year they didn't have one. That's the thing that kept getting cited by ourselves, by Russell Martin. That's not an excuse anymore. So let's see if he can put the issues right this term. We're going to have to move swiftly on, though. We probably won't do a little bit of a pre-match on Rotherham, because I'll be honest, I don't know that much about the team, and we're in that kind of part of the season where
it's hard
no
time of season.
Yeah, you've got nothing to like base any form off or nothing. So we'll wait until next week to discuss competitive action. But we've got plenty of other things to discuss about the league. Got to move on because we got a bit of a time limit this week, after an hour. But let's go to transfers. We did already discuss the incomings of the Swans. Before we look at the full league, just a reminder on who's actually gone. So Morgan Whittaker did leave on loan to Plymouth. Do you think there's a way back for him?
I don't think so. Not with the way not with the way that we're set up at the moment. I think obviously if Perot is staying and we've got Obafemi, and then obviously he's got Cullen there as well. I don't see a way of him getting in, because I don't see him playing as like a 9. So I don't think so. And it doesn't. It seems like from the outside that Russell Martin's not that keen on him. So I don't think so. I can't see him coming back next year. Well, maybe, I don't know, but I can't see him coming back and like starting for us.
Flynn Downs, we already spoke about, was gone as well. The fee that we raised for him potentially secures us in our window this season. I don't know how much more action we could have. I think they're talking that there's not really much money there. Maybe 1 or 2 loans if they come available. But they have stuck away largely from loans this season, which is a complaint you've had in the past. There's only one.
Yeah.
So that's positive. Jan Danda, we mentioned, he's gone to Ross County on a free. Corey Smith left on a free. He's gone to Derby now. And Ben Hamer, bit of a surprise one, but he's gone to Watford.
Yeah, Corey Smith to Derby was a good signing. They've made some quality signings for League One. They got like Horahan as well, haven't they, and McGoldrick.
Yeah.
So they'll
I'm surprised Corey Smith had to drop down the league. But
yeah, I know. I'm surprised, and Horahan as well. I'm surprised they've dropped down the league, but maybe, I don't know, what have they been offered?
I thought Derby was skint.
Yeah, this is what I thought. They made some cracking signings.
God knows what's going on there. I thought the guy pulled out with the deal as well of buying them.
I had no idea.
And then Rooney left, or maybe that's why they got money.
Oh, maybe, yeah. It's not a bad shout, because they all came in on free, so his wages probably covered about 5 players.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Swans. One interesting one we didn't speak about, though, is Jonathan Ogbeta, who apparently is available to leave. I don't understand what's gone on there. I was reading about it. Was it Andy Scott that left? the old guy in charge of the transfers. If you just move your mic up a little bit again, sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah, apparently he brought him in. It was like him who scouted him and was keen to bring him in. But obviously Russell Martin isn't keen. Andy Scott's not here anymore. So wonder if the direction both were going in terms of what they wanted for the team didn't add up, and that's why perhaps he's no longer part of the club.
That's awful business again. Or like that's just, I don't know. It
That's
seemed that way
as well,
last season.
wasn't it? Like 300k or something.
It seemed like that last year though, because they brought him in, and then I know he had a bit of an injury. I think when he came to us.
Yeah, but then he played like twice off the bench and then disappeared.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. I remember Russell Martin made a comment. He said something like it wasn't fair to start him because he was like young. It wasn't fair to start him, I think. So, bit of a weird comment. Basically says to me that he wasn't ready or not good enough. So
yeah,
we'll see. But it just seemed what a ridiculous signing again. Guess that's the problem you have though when you have like head of recruitments and head coaches.
He was still on the agenda probably from like the previous manager and the short list that they were working on, and style of football has changed now. Maybe he's just not built for the. Well, I mean, he came from Man City Academy, and Andy Scott worked with him there apparently, which is where the link came from. I don't know.
Yeah,
bit of an odd one.
Yeah, strange because he didn't play. He like literally didn't play. And he hasn't even featured at all, I don't think, in pre-season.
I think he did, in one at least, but not much.
No.
But I mean, doesn't say much because Liam Walsh featured earlier on as well, but he obviously got injured. Let's have a run through of some notable transfers from the league then. So we did both try and have a look. I mean, we're not going to sit here and pretend we're experts on some of these players. There's a lot of players that we haven't heard of. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't heard of. I haven't had the time to go and necessarily look into a lot of them. So we just tried picking out some key names we thought would make a bit of an impact or potentially good signings as I lose Lee there for a second.
I'm still here. I think my camera's just gone, but I'm still here. I'm still with you.
Here. You could just look at my face for the next however long. Anyway, we'll start from the top and alphabetical order. So Birmingham City, John Ruddy, probably I'd imagine reserve goalkeeper there.
Experience.
Yeah. Callum Britton's joined Blackburn from Barnsley. I think decent signing for them.
That's a good signing.
Yeah.
I like that.
One that might interest Swans fans, Rhys Williams, who didn't manage to settle and have a good loan spell with us last season, has gone to Blackpool this time to try and improve his record of loan spells in the Championship.
It's interesting you say that as well. I was just thinking, you made a good point when you said about the, maybe Ogbeta was from a previous sort of regime on a previous list of people. I think maybe we could add Rhys Williams to that because he didn't seem to really fit in at all with Russell Martin's playing style. Oh, I'm back. But he didn't seem to fit in at all with Russell Martin's playing style. He looked really out of it. So was that sort of Cooper's signing and they brought him in? I don't know.
Yeah, but again, he's come from Liverpool. Like, you think he'd be a bit better on the ball.
Maybe just didn't work. I don't know. Yeah, but that definitely.
And he played in the Premier League the year before because they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Just couldn't handle perhaps the increased demands and pressure of the Championship football. Hope it works out for him. Obviously, he's
definitely scoring against us.
Probably from a corner or something.
100%.
I was touching it later, but Blackpool are actually like tipped to be one of the favourites for relegation.
Are they?
Yeah. Be interesting. Carl Naismith has gone to Bristol City from Luton Town. Obviously, they had a good year last year, so I'd imagine perhaps he couldn't get in the team so much. Scott Twine to Burnley from MK Dons. I'm sure we were looking at him at some point. I mean, we were looking at everyone, I think, from MK Dons at some point.
Well, how many players at MK Dons sold? Half of them came to us. And then Scott Twine's gone to Burnley.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like a lot of the players that were there under Martin have been poached elsewhere.
Yeah.
Shinji Ojo has made his move to Cardiff permanent. I think he was on there on loan before.
Yeah.
Casey Palmer, another ex-Swan, has gone to Coventry City from Bristol. I think on a permanent deal. This one intrigued me. Jean-Michael Seri from Fulham to Hull City, because I thought when they got relegated, he was one of the ones they were like, how have they managed to keep him?
Yeah.
And now he's gone to Hull. Like, what's going on there?
Maybe didn't. I don't know. Didn't really follow it.
They've
Maybe
got
didn't
money
work
though,
last
haven't
year.
they? I think Hull.
Yeah, they got the new Turkish owners, haven't they?
Hence all their loan signings from Fenerbahce.
yeah. So well, it's a lot of people. I think a few people are tipping him to get playoffs, just because of the money. But it doesn't always work, does it? So we'll see.
No. Luke Freeman from Luton Town from Sheffield United. Ryan Giles has gone on loan to Middlesbrough this season. That's a good signing probably for them.
Yeah.
I think Middlesbrough are expected to be pushing as well.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayden to Norwich, obviously from Newcastle. Norwich are favourites, I believe. I mean, they're like the top yo-yo club.
Yeah.
Freddie Woodman signing permanent at Preston. That surprised me a little bit. But they've also signed another former Swans goalkeeper, Di Cornell.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I think that's a good signing as well. Woodman.
Also,
Preston.
Ben Woodburn and Robbie Brady.
Yeah, that's good business, that is, to be fair.
A couple of good players going to Preston. Tyler Roberts on loan from Leeds to QPR. Shane Long, Jeff Hendrick, and Tom Ince going to Reading, but they have literally lost like half their team.
Yeah, they have. But I was surprised when we looked at who Reading and signed. It's got a good bit of business they've done, I think. I think Jeff Hendrick is a good signing for the Championship.
Yeah.
I think he's good in the midfield. Tom Ince, obviously, following his dad again.
Yeah, he's a bit irrelevant though.
How is that allowed to keep happening? You can see that he just goes where his dad has gone. If I was like a club owner, I'd be like, look, he doesn't do anything. Surely he's not good enough. Like, you can't just bring him in because he's your son. But
maybe it's part of the contract.
Yeah, it must be.
Maybe it's part of the contract. If I'm your manager, then I have to sign my son.
Oh, it must be.
Crazy. Kieran Clark, Sheffield United.
That's a good signing.
So Kieran Clark. I don't know how he says his name, I'll be honest.
Yeah, Kieran Clark, you got it.
Stoke City signing Aidan Flint and Dwight Gale. Dwight Gale, I mean, see if he can come back to the Championship and knock in the goals as he has in the past.
Yeah, that's good business, I think.
Jack Clark, right? This is the highest fee. Sunderland signed Jack Clark from Tottenham for 10 million.
It's 10 million, is it?
Yeah, Sunderland as well. They just come up, but I think they got money of they as well.
I think they got a bit of money, yeah.
All these clubs getting bought out, don't they, with all this money? It's a shame our owners came with like a piggy bank.
I wonder if there's a sniff of our owners going at some point. I don't know. Maybe for another day.
Maybe. I wrote his name wrong. Jed Wallace, John Smith, and Jason Malumbi to West Brom.
Yeah, when I looked at it, I thought West Brom had made they hadn't made many a day, but I think they'd made the best signings because Jed Wallace was good for Millwall, and Swift for Reading last year was brilliant, and then Malumbi from Brighton. I think there's 3 good signings there.
But West Brom had a good second half of the season, didn't they? After they changed managers, and probably had a good foundation just to add a couple of players to suit whatever style they're going for now.
Yeah, I think it was good business.
And Ryan Nyambe from Blackburn to Wigan, which shocked me a little bit because I thought he was decent for Blackburn.
Yeah.
And I didn't put the fees for most of these because they were either undisclosed or a majority of them were actually like free transfers. And that just says a lot to me, I think, about the perhaps state of the Championship, which I think is a good conversation. The quality just seems to be decreasing again because teams just seem to have no money. There's so many players getting released on free transfers, getting released and then getting let to go on free transfers, that because clubs just can't afford to sort of buy players for a start, and the clubs getting can't afford to keep players who aren't playing on the wages. Like it's just all skint, and then they can't bring players in. Like look at us, for example. You got Ryan Bennett sitting there. No one wants him because of his wage demands.
Oh God, I forgot he was still there. Bloody hell, I forgot about him.
He's still here. He's sitting there. He's not going to play. I think it's been pretty much confirmed. He's not in the plans. He's available, but nobody wants him. Like, and he's a free. It's bit of a weird situation. I'm wondering whether, like, for me, I think the quality would be lower this year. Perhaps people said the previous year was lower than the one before. I think it might be even worse again this year, and a bit of a dogfight in the middle of the league.
I
Whether
remember
that can
saying this
suit
last
us, I
year.
think our recruitment hasn't been awful, and if we can stabilize a little bit on top of what we did last year, the fact that the quality hasn't improved might be good for us.
Yeah, I think I remember saying this last year. I remember looking at teams like, and like no disrespect, but looking at like, Luton were like third at one point, and looking at automatics, and there was a few teams sort of in realistic playoff chances. I just thought, like, how were they there? I just didn't, compared to previous years where you looked at, there have been some real quality sides in the championship, like before we
Yeah,
got promoted the first time. But it was like some of the teams now, including us, wouldn't live with past championship seasons. So I think you might be right. But I think that is, like you said, probably from COVID, teams that just haven't got the money. The gulf in the game now between, like, obviously the very top and
yeah.
lower leagues
I think it's a
it's just getting
combination
bigger.
of COVID and perhaps when we're reaching that breaking point where the money in football has just become unattainable. Like it's
Yeah,
just
I think as well, you just don't have, you don't have teams sort of picking up unknown players. I guess credit to us for picking up someone like Perot on the cheap who's been class. You just
yeah, but
don't
it's
really see.
harder to sign players from outside of UK now.
Yeah, exactly. There's that factor, but also you just don't get as many players, as many teams picking up like superstars for small amounts of money now.
No.
Like that. I think that sort of market has gone now as well. I think people are just relying on, I think as a whole in general, the championship has literally just been players going from one championship club to another, just because teams are happy to pick up cheap players or free players who have a championship experience,
Yeah, I wonder.
rather than risking spending maybe $1 million on someone else who's
Yeah,
untried.
and I'd imagine it's a problem all the way down the football league. From
Oh yeah,
the Premier League
definitely.
seems to be the least affected, but I think some
Yeah,
clubs even there are struggling. But not struggling, but there's some that aren't spending as much money
I
as what I
said
mean.
this
But
this conversation before. I just think there's so much money in the game. Like at the top, it's ridiculous that one
yeah,
one big team at some point is gonna go bust or something just because of the figure. Well, I don't know what I don't know how Barcelona are signing players because
that's
they probably
ridiculous. I
haven't.
thought they were literally like had no money.
They're having a bailout somewhere, probably from UEFA. I wouldn't be surprised because there's no way they can afford to sign. They can't pay De Jong's wages, can they? I think that don't they owe him wages, and then they
Something
signed
like that. Yeah,
Lewandowski. I don't know.
it's ridiculous. It needs to be. That's borderline corruption, surely. How can you? You
Oh,
shouldn't be allowed to sign a
definitely,
player if you can't pay wages. There
definitely,
should just be a full stop. You can't afford it. Like whoever's in
definitely.
charge of this financial fair play, if you've got a player in your club that hasn't had his contract paid as expected, there should be like automatic transfer embargo.
Yeah, there we are. But you don't get it with those clubs, do you?
It's just ridiculous.
But yeah, going back to that, I just think there's so much money like that in the game now. Like, I don't know what Mbappe's on with his new contract and
He's
all the
basically
transfer
manager
fees.
of the club, and he with his new contract as well. He can
Yeah,
sign
but
players.
like this level of money, I just think like one massive club one day is just going to go bust.
Yes, it's insane. Um, but yeah, it would be interesting to see where it goes in the next few years. Even like if you look at last season, Bournemouth, Fulham, they spent quite a lot of money in the league, and you're not getting that from Norwich, Burnley,
No,
and Watford this season. Like I know there's still time left in the transfer window, and maybe it could change. But all these clubs that we've just gone through, the notable signings, I would say about 75% of them, the release list was twice as long as the
oh yeah,
sign-ins. And
yeah,
I know some of that's youth players, but there's still players at the club that are just going. A lot
yeah,
more leaving the clubs than joining the clubs.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the interesting part. So we're going to try and predict,
Here we go.
very uneducated prediction of our league table, because I literally couldn't tell you how every club is faring. A lot of the transfers that they've made, like I'm not that sure about a lot of the players. Need to see them in action properly for after a couple of weeks. So obviously we'll probably revisit it around the halfway point, see how we're doing. Because see the Swans badge is like invisible over there in the black.
Yeah, I see on this thing is always like I see people put the pictures up of these things. So I can't see the Swans team anyway. You got to look for the gap.
Anyway, so let's just go in order. So Norwich, I personally think they're the seasoned experts at just finishing top, finishing bottom, finishing top, finishing bottom.
Yeah, they'll be up there.
So I reckon top 6, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Stoke City.
Oh, Stoke, they're a funny one because I think they've made good signings again, and every year I think, oh, they could make a push this year, and then they never quite do it. So I'm tempted to put them in the same sort of bracket. I think they might be like in that 7th to 12th.
Yeah,
but
I was thinking
at the bottom end of that,
pushing for playoffs, but just missing out.
Yeah.
Blackburn Rovers, I think they did well last season and they fell completely off a cliff in the second half. So I didn't see that they'd made that much.
Didn't Tony Mowbray leave at the end of the season as well, the manager?
New start for them, bit of a transition maybe. So I'm going to say bottom half. Where would you say?
I'm happy with that. I agree with you there.
Obviously, we'll rejig it like if we think clubs are going to finish ahead or behind. In these categories. Cardiff City down here.
Obviously, no. To be fair, I put them probably one above that. I think surviving. I think
they've had a massive squad overhaul. A lot.
That's why I think
a lot of new players in.
There's a big transition for them this year. I think so. I think
maybe they are actually going to try and change the way they play. We'll see.
They won't. I still think they'll be good enough to stay up
though. Those people who are listening, perhaps on Spotify or another podcast service, we're just doing a tier list on the video. So if you do want to jump on YouTube, perhaps when you get 5 minutes, you can see our little list on the screen. But what I will do is read out at the end the order in which we've placed the clubs. But there's several categories. I should give context at the start. We've got top 6. We've got 7th to 12th place. We've got the bottom half teams, then teams that are just surviving, just like outside of relegation, and then obviously the 3 that go down. So we're just filling this in with the club badges. I'll read out where we put the clubs as we go on. So we've got Sheffield United next.
Swans, isn't it? You've got the missing guy.
Oh yeah, sorry. We've got the invisible Swansea City badge.
The big one.
Where do you reckon? I think. Oh, see, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do it. I was going to say we could knock on the door, but I'm going to say just outside. Where would you say?
Yeah, I put us. I think what did we finish last year? Like 14th. I can't see us making a massive jump. I would think maybe like 10th. So yeah, I'd agree with the 7th to 12th.
Ahead of Stoke or behind Stoke?
I think us and Stoke will probably be around the same place. I'd like to think.
I'm going to put us ahead of Stoke.
The only issue with us, I don't know. We talked about us defensively. Are we going to improve that much defensively?
I think these players have been signed to improve defensively, and if they don't improve defensively, then, if you get to Christmas and none of them problems have been fixed, then you've got to start asking bigger questions.
I also think, though, this is a big statement, but I also think that if Perot stays and we have Perot fit and Patterson all season and Obafemi all season, those 3 together, or whether he plays where he could mix and match and play Perot up front one day and have Obafemi on the bench, or vice versa. But I think if those 3 are fit all season and Perot stays, I think his goals we could be knocking on the door of the playoffs. But that position there where I put them maybe 10th or 12th is, I think Perot is going to leave.
Okay, we put an asterisk. If Perot stays, we'll go here, like down here somewhere.
But he is that good. I think his goals could take any team from, a mid-table to playoffs, or from playoffs to promotion, I think.
Okay, so no ifs and buts. Based on the current squad, we'll do this table.
Current squad, put them in 7th to 12th. I think they could be knocking on the door.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Sheffield United.
If they can defend.
But I said if they don't fix the defensive problems, you've got to start asking. I give Martin all the benefit of the doubt last season, but if going to Christmas he haven't sorted that defence out, when he said he needed pre-season and new players in that defensive line, he's got it now. He has to fix it.
I can't remember what game it was, but there was one game at the end of last season, and I slated him a bit. I was like, he's got to.
Yeah,
he's got to sort of.
Yeah, you did slay him, and I like I said, I maintained all the way through last season. I was going to give him the full season, the pre-season, and to get some signings in. Now the club backed him to get them signings in defence. Now put your money where your mouth is. If it comes to Christmas and then problems are not solved, then maybe I'll be starting to go to the other camp of like, can he actually fix that problem? Can he actually sort the defence out? Because he said what he needs. He's now got that stuff. So now we need to see the results.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not saying that we should necessarily go up this season, but we should see improvement, is what I'm saying. I think if Perot stays, we could get playoffs. That's my prediction, but we'll have a look at the end of the table, see where we end up putting people now. Sheffield United.
Yeah, I think they'll be top 6. I'd have them as pushing for automatics, I think.
Yeah, okay. We'll put them behind Norwich for now. Top 6. Coventry City.
Coventry were right last year.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna like do a bit of a Barnsley where I'm not saying they're gonna go down, but maybe they won't get to the highs of last season.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I'm gonna say bottom half after Blackburn.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hull City.
Hull, I don't know. With these Turkish signings, could we push them into the 7th to 12th or bottom half? I don't see them struggling. I'd say bottom half. I think it might be a bit high for them this season.
Where we?
I think after Coventry, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it
maybe we'll change that when more teams go in. Yeah.
Bottom half. Okay. This list's a bit rubbish. Should have. I can change this. Should I do like? Because surviving. What is that? 20. That's 21st to 24th. So I'm gonna say 18th to 21st, which means this is 13th to 17th. That works. Okay, so Middlesbrough, I think they could be a strong contender
they'll be
this
up.
season.
Yeah, they'll be up there this year, I think.
Just missing out, or they're going to make the playoffs?
I think they'll make the playoffs this year.
Better or worse than Sheffield?
Worse, I think.
Okay. QPR, I think for me, I think maybe around the middle again.
Yeah, they're another one that's everyone seems to tip every year to be up there, and then they're there for a bit, and then they just sort of fade away, or they don't really push it. So I think, I agree with you on that one.
In between Blackburn and Coventry?
Yeah, that's fair.
13th, 14th, 15th. There's only one more space in this bracket.
We want to play everyone in that bracket, don't we?
Well, we can adjust them at the end.
Yeah.
Millwall.
It's just another one that just seems to be tipped every year. Oh, they might get the playoffs, but
I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon down here.
I'll go with that. I'll give you that.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I got no reason for it. I just
only because it's hard. It's just so hard to after the top 6. I guess they could go in any order, couldn't they? It's really hard in the championship, so we've got to pick teams.
I didn't see anyone they've signed that's like lit my eyes up. I didn't put anyone on that list from Millwall. So
no, yeah, I'll agree with you on that one.
Say they're going to struggle. Bristol City.
I think they'll be surviving as well.
Better or worse than Cardiff and Millwall?
I think, yeah, I'd have them, there after those two, I think.
That's full now. We need to, oh no, we got one more space there.
Okay, that's good. We're going to have to start picking teams.
Yeah, we haven't got anyone to go down.
I know, West Brom will be top 6. Yes, I think that's an easy one.
I reckon 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Reading, I think they could be in trouble.
I think Reading will go down.
We're putting them in relegation then, first one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Burnley, I said in the thing I was writing yesterday for blog that asked me to do a prediction. I put Burnley to go back up.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I regret it.
I don't know. I think, like we said last year, And I guess we can put these in the next one as well. We got Watford. I think they'll be the other one in the top 6. But one of those teams is not going to be there. It just never works out like that, does it? Arguably you've got the best 6 teams in the league there. One of them is going to miss out. Well, maybe not Middlesbrough, I guess, but you've got the top 5 teams there in the league. I think one of them is not going to have a good season, but I can't see who is going to be from there at the moment. On paper, I can't see who's going to struggle.
Don't know what. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to say Watford goes into 6th, 7th to 12th.
Okay. I like that. They got a new manager, and they come from Forest Green.
Plus,
maybe if it works
they're
out.
very I think it's going to catch up to them how cutthroat they are with sacking people. They've let a lot of players go as well.
So who are you going to push into the playoffs? That's a big question. Into the playoffs.
We'll have to wait and see. Sunderland.
I
think they might stay up.
I think they'll stay up. I think they will stay up. Yeah, I'll take that.
Birmingham, I think, could be in trouble.
I think Birmingham are in trouble as well. I think they're going to struggle. I think they might go down.
Okay, we'll put Birmingham in relegation. They've been knocking on the door a couple of seasons, haven't they? Preston is the one I was going to say could be a dark horse for playoffs.
Yeah, I was thinking that they could be.
Looking at some of their signings, we said they were quite decent.
So in the playoffs, though.
Well, we can adjust it at the end if you think one of these clubs should replace them.
Okay.
But let's provisionally put them in top 6, and then we'll decide. Luton Town, I think, are quite similar to Coventry, where they were hitting the highs last season. Not sure it's going to continue.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's going to be awful for them, so I think maybe they can come into 7th to 12th, unless you think otherwise.
Yeah. They
do work hard, don't they?
It's going to be hard. They're going to be a hard side to break down. They signed Coley Woodrow, I think, as well, didn't they, from Barnsley? So I think that's not a bad signing.
Yeah. Wigan Athletic.
I don't know. I'm struggling with the teams that have been promoted. I think Wigan could struggle. But I'm just looking at what we got left. I think Wigan or Rotherham.
I would put Rotherham to go down, Wigan to stay up. But then if we're going to say Wigan to stay up, I need to move one of these up, I think.
Yeah. Sunderland. I think Sunderland,
Move Sunderland into higher.
Yeah.
And we're going to put Wigan to just scrape through.
Yeah.
And then we spoke about Rotherham, so they're going down, yeah.
I hope Rotherham stay up, but they always come up and down, don't they? From the Championship to League One, because they were so unlucky last time when I think they drew a Cardiff on the last day, didn't they? Which sent them down. If they'd won the game, they would have stayed up. And they were
unlucky.
Derby's points deduction didn't come till afterwards.
Yeah, but it was Wickham that would have benefited from that.
Yeah, but I can't remember what happened with Rotherham. I remember thinking how unlucky they were. I know Wickham was the one that would have stayed up, but I can't remember. I think Rotherham, Derby scored like last minute or something on the last day to draw.
Yeah, something happened on the last day. It all changed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Blackpool, there's another one that's I'm not sure about.
I don't know. I can't see them threatening too much. I'd probably put them on the top of that. Are we full on the bracket above relegation?
Yeah, these are full. These two are.
Oh God.
There's 2 spaces in 7th to 12th, so we have to move teams up if we want to.
I think realistically QPR could finish 7th to 12th, couldn't they? I think I'd put them up there.
Or Blackburn, it could be either of them.
Yeah, I think either of them.
And then Huddersfield, they were good last year, weren't they?
Yeah, I'd put them in 7th to 12th. But they lost quite a few players, didn't they? Forest signed some of their players, which would have been gutted for them, but I think
and the manager went, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put them back down.
Do we talk ourselves out of that?
Yeah, Blackburn are going up. Oh, it could be Hull, though, saying about all the signings.
Yeah, it could be.
The money. We'll have to make a decision here.
No, I think it's too early for Hull.
Too early for Hull.
Yeah.
We'll have okay, and Blackpool are coming into here then.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any changes to the order?
Yeah, the only one I don't like is Preston in the playoffs. I think that's a massive shout. I don't know if I can see them going up.
But the thing is, I don't want to just put all of the teams that come down.
I know, I agree with you.
Who do you want to put in there instead? I feel like we're just being too safe if we chuck.
No, I agree with you. I'm just trying to think who else could possibly scrape in the playoffs.
And the relegated teams from last season.
Stoke, maybe. No, I'm not doing Stoke because they never do it.
We're making a call. We're leaving one of them out. So whether that's Watford, Burnley, or Norwich.
No, I think Watford's a good shout because I think you're right. I think the way they are has got to come back and bite them at some point. It probably won't be this season. You watch now; they'll bloody win the league.
Should we swap Preston for the Swans?
Oh, I can't.
With Joe Perreault staying?
I can't see us getting playoffs. Yeah, let's do it. But I don't know. I can't see us getting playoffs.
You're the year first, guys. Swans to finish 6th this season.
I don't know.
Money where your mouth is. We're putting the call right there. We'll see what happens. Russell Marlin, don't let us down. Do what Steve Cooper couldn't. Get the playoffs and stick it. Okay, that's what we're going for. So we're going for Swansea in the playoffs. So this is the order that we've gone for. Any more changes before I read it out?
No, I'm happy with that. I think that's good.
So we're going for top 6: Norwich, Sheffield United, West Bromwich Albion, Burnley, Middlesbrough, Swansea City. 7th to 12th, we've got Watford, Preston, Stoke City, Luton Town, Queen's Park Rangers, Blackburn Rovers. 13th to 17th, we've got Coventry City, Huddersfield, Hull City, Sunderland, and Blackpool. 18th to 21st, we've got Cardiff City, Millwall, Bristol City, and Wigan. We put too many in the 7th to 12th bracket, have we?
No.
Oh, no, we haven't. I'm just being stupid. And in relegation, we've got Reading, Birmingham, and Rotherham.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Let us know in the comments if you agree with our table.
Not 100% happy putting the Swans in the playoffs because I can't see it. But
done it now.
Let's be positive.
Done it now. Probably next on the line.
Yeah.
So that's our tier. Let's just have a look at the odds just for comparison, right? So for the winner of the championship, then this is obviously a generalized one with all the betting accounts and the average and all the rest of it. But Norwich are favourites. Watford are second, and we said they're going to drop out. Maybe we'll see when we West Brom, Middlesbrough, Burnley, and Sheffield. That's the top 6 for them. They got the Swans in 7th though, so it could happen.
I don't know. I'm not confident enough to say we're getting the playoffs. You might be right though. You're saying like the championship quality is getting a bit lower, but it all depends if he sorted out the defense. Because if they defend like they were last year, there's no way you're getting the playoffs. So
look where Preston are.
Oh God, yeah, but like
doesn't mean anything.
It's so hard to do the championship, isn't it?
Sunderland are tipped to do quite well.
Yeah, I think they will do all right. I think they'll do all right when they come up.
In relegation, they've got Birmingham, Reading, and Rotherham.
Oh, well, there we go.
We've put there. We didn't check this in advance, I promise. And then we got Preston, Wigan, Blackpool. They've got the tip to like struggle. But I guess it depends where you're looking at, like some of these betting places, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what these numbers are for. Like they all doesn't mean anything to me. But obviously this is a sort of an average across the sites. Promotion rather than winning. Well, it's going to be the same order really, but the odds would be a lot different.
What are the Swans to get promoted?
I'm not sure. They're giving weird numbers on this site.
No,
I'll have to look at the actual bookies. They 11 to 12 in Betfair. Sky Bet. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
what if you redirect me to the correct? No, it hasn't. I'll have a look. We'll have a look maybe for next week. But
yeah,
I mean 7th place. They're probably quite low odds.
Yeah,
for promotion or playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess things can change as well towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I removed the wrong screen there. Apologies. That's our table. So we'll revisit it perhaps Christmas time and at the end of the season, and then you'll be like saying we're geniuses when we predicted the Swans playoff finish. But well, there we are. We've got an X on the line now. So anything else you want to discuss before we shoot off?
Nah, nothing. You want to make a prediction for Rotherham Saturday? Just going to be a finger in the air job, isn't it?
Are we home? We are. We're home.
No, it's away.
No, we're away. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1.
I'm going 1-1 draw.
I'm going to say Joel Perreault and Jamie Patterson goals.
I'll take that.
Be interesting.
Yeah.
What can we be home? I really want to go to a game as well. I'm off next Saturday. Gutted.
Are you not off the week after the first home game?
I am, actually.
Oh,
I am off. I have to try and get a ticket. Who is it again?
Blackburn, their first home game.
Oh, yes. That makes sense. I think I'm going to be doing a little piece for a Blackburn channel later on, so I would explain why they've asked.
Yeah.
You can tell we've been on a break. But yeah, we'll get back up and running. We'll get back up to full speed and try and get some more stuff out there. Be more consistent with the uploads and the podcasts. But as always, thank you everybody for joining us. Tell us how bad you think our table is in the comments below, and what you think of the signings the Swans have made so far. Who's going to be the best signing out of all of them, or the most influential? And perhaps some of the championship signings. Have you seen any that caught your eye that perhaps we didn't pick up on, or other ones that we picked up on? Do you think any of those are going to stand out and make a difference for any of the clubs that they've gone to? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're still trying to reach 500, and I think we are going to do a giveaway of a Swans kit at some point, probably near the start of the season, but we'll sort that out. The third kit got revealed yet, or was that just a rumor?
I think it's not official yet. It is a rumor, but I think it looks like it's going to happen.
Maybe we'll do it for the third kit when that gets announced then.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll sort something out, so keep in tune for that, and we shall catch you on the next video.
See you soon.
See you.